Look, I know from speaking to you a few times recently that belief has always been there. But even still, having gone to Anfield, not just got a win, but comprehensively outplayed the champions, have you noticed an extra pep in the step this week from the players?
Yeah, I think it always helps, doesn't it? You win results, you win football matches, and of course you get that extra little bit of belief. Not that we needed it. I think I've been really consistent in that, and that's the truth in what I'm saying. We've never really needed that. But look, a football club's always better when you come in on a Monday morning and you've won a game. So I think it's obviously I'd like to think that it's give extra belief to the players to think that they can go to a place like Liverpool and Anfield and put in the performance they did and play like they did and obviously get the result at the end of it. I think the difference at times this year has been solely a result. Performance has been there, and the levels of performance have been there. The difference has been result. So we got that against Liverpool, and hopefully we can keep moving in that right direction, really.
And from the reigning champions to the champions-elect, I suppose, I mean, you run out of superlatives from Manchester City. They've been incredible this season. I assume you watched them last night, and they showed that you have to be so defensively. You can't be naive for one moment, otherwise they'll make you look silly.
Yeah, no, you can't. They've got their quality all over the pitch in terms of structure, their positional play, the way they play. They're a threat in every single moment of a game. Out of possession, they're a threat in terms of transitions. With the ball, the way they can move the ball. So yeah, you're right in saying I think we understand that. I thought Southampton started the game very well last night, and after 14 minutes were really the dominant team in the first part, and then literally a click of a finger, one ball over the top, across the face, and before you know it, Man City are 1-0 up. So I think we realise, certainly I do, the animal we're playing against here, that from the start of the game to the end of the game, there's going to that focus in terms of the defensive shape and the way we are and diligent in them moments are going to be very key.
Even though you're very early on in your managerial career, I think we can see what your footballing philosophy is. Would you say you've studied other managers, and if so, is Pep Guardiola one of them? Is the one you sort of seen the way that he plays the game and admired it and tried to bring it into your own management style?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Really, someone that from the outset of when I set off in my coaching career, looked at many people, many coaches, many styles, many ways, as well as my own experiences and my own knowledge or how I want my team to play, and then being part of it. Of course, this is a coach that in probably in my lifetime might not see a better one. And what he's done, what he's created, is every team and every football club he's been at, he's created a clear style and a clear way. That definitely he's one that obviously I've looked at and tried to work things out or study in that way, because like I said, he's going to go down as one of the greats, really.
You've made it pretty clear recently how you feel about VAR, but there was another incident last night in that game where Phil Foden almost looked as if he tried to stay on his feet and then ended up not getting a penalty because of that. And people will watch that and think, well, that's why these players dive nowadays, because unless you theatrically throw yourself to the ground, you're just not going to get a penalty.
Yeah, look, I mean, my argument on VAR is never going to really change, I don't think, and I'm very open. I was very open from the outset, although I was pretty negative with my own thoughts inside in terms of how I see it panning out and how I see it going. I hear people say, you need to give this time and this and that, and while I understand that, what I find frustrating is that we've got VAR to make these big calls at these times to make the correct decisions. And it happened to us this year, I think, with Cavaleiro with a penalty against Liverpool. I think we could all accept the way it was before. We can accept that maybe a ref will make the wrong decision, like we all do on a Saturday. I make wrong decisions, players do, and we make mistakes. And of course, we don't want to do that. But as angry as we are probably at the time, we can accept human error at certain moments. I think what we can't accept is that we've got all these gimmicks now in VAR, and you're still making the wrong call, and people are still making the wrong call. And I suppose that's what happens when it's interpretation. And that's what VAR still is. In certain moments, it's interpretation. It's not clear. It's not defining. We was on the end of a bad decision against Spurs with a handball, and I didn't agree with it, but it's a rule. And the rule is the rule, so I understand it. You know, there was loads of talk at the beginning of the season about the offside rule. Is it really fair that someone's arm or someone's toes offside? Maybe not, and that's a debate to be had, but it's a rule, and we know it. So when it happens, you can accept it. What I find puzzling is there's a number of issues in their moments that that was a clear mistake last night. It's forever and a day a penalty. And I don't know whether it's ego, whether it's someone not being honest, but at that moment, I think what needs to happen is accept that someone's made a mistake. And in last night's instance, that's a referee. And that's at the moment you need your mate to help you out. And that's like either on the intercom saying, look, listen, mate, I think you've made a bit of a rick here, or you've made a bit of a mistake. Understand why, because it's rolling at certain speeds, and I get that you maybe made the wrong call, but I think you need to look at this because this is a clear pen. So yeah, that is it for me really. And yeah, like I said, I'm not a lover of it, and I don't think I will be. I need convincing.
Just one final thing I wanted to ask you about, and your jacket has caused quite a sensation since last weekend. I assume we're seeing it again this weekend. Are you surprised at how much of a storm it's caused?
Yeah, I was a little bit. It was one of the first things someone asked me after the game, to be honest with you. It was a reporter brought it up, and I was quite surprised, really. I thought it was quite tame, really. It was a grey padded blazer, so I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting more about the result we'd just got and how well we played. It's been many a time I've walked out and my press officers told me about all the problems that I may face with questions being asked. So certainly it was a day when I walked out of the tunnel thinking, what you got for me now, surely it's going to be quite pleasantry. And then he hit me with that my jacket's been getting a bit of grief. So yeah, it'll be on again. So yeah, if people don't like it, maybe we'll hopefully have to bide a little bit of time and get some positive results, and it will stay on.
Do you consider yourself one of the most sartorially elegant managers in the Premier League?
No, not really. No, I just wear what I wear in reflection of the football club and how of the team, and that's it. So yeah.
I think you're being modest. I think you're always very, very sharply dressed.
Thank you, Jamie. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Scott. Best of luck.
Cheers, pal.
Thanks, Jamie. PLP and Marie, please.
Afternoon, Scott. Did you have to calm the players down in that first training session after the Liverpool win?
Not really, no, not really. You only ever want to calm them down if it's starting to get a bit over the top. But no, it was, you can imagine, like I said, football clubs are always a lot better when you win games. For us this year, they've not come too often. We've had good results and good performances, but we've probably been missing out on the result, really. So players are in a good place, a really good place, but they've been in a good place for the majority of the year. But of course, there's that little bit of an edged step on it because of the result.
How different is Fulham now to when you last met City in December?
Well, look, we're further down the line in our development. We're further down the line in our organisation, and the time we've spent together as a group, the time we've spent learning this division, learning as a team and individual players as well. So for sure, we're in a better place than we were where we were last time we played them. That's just down to time, work, and yeah. So definitely, I think that's fair to say that we are in a better place than the last time we met.
Of course, Fulham have won 3 of their last 6 Premier League games. How important is it that obviously they keep going in the right direction, which is what you want, obviously, but how happy are you that the team are really responding to what you want and there is such spirit within the squad?
Yeah, I'm really pleased. I'm very pleased because, I have clear beliefs in terms of what I've set out this year in terms of trying to coach this team and my staff coach the team, but also to really try and ingrain something in them that they understand and they need to know, and there's a mentality about us and we need to understand what the season's going to look like, and we need to always have a constant belief about us. And I feel that we're on the right end of that, really. We're a team that have progressed, we're a team that have been willing to learn, face things up, front things up when things ain't gone bad, and that's been a big plus. Because it's very easy to walk away during their moments or hide away or or be disengaged because you don't want to be embarrassed, or you don't want to come out your comfort zone. And at times this year, every single one of them players, including me, my staff, we've had to step out of a comfort zone at times to try and get better. And to do that, you need to be brave. You've got to have a bravery about you. And for sure, that's one thing we have got. And I think that's probably been a big plus to why we've managed to be competitive and put ourselves in a position now what people can see a very competitive team.
You talk about the team needing to be brave. You're going to play against a team who like to pin others back. They like to dominate the ball, the fluency in midfield. But at the end of the day, in that game on Saturday, it's about you. It's about Fulham and playing the game that you want to play.
Yeah, hopefully. Look, there's no doubt at the weekend you're going to have to suffer it up sometimes. And I think we understand that. Of course we do. We're playing against, me personally, is the best team in Europe in terms of how well they're coached, the technical ability they have, where they put the ball when they know where to put the ball at the right time. So of course there's going to be that constant battle, and there's that constant hard work what we're going to have to do. But on the flip side of that, like you said, Anne-Marie, is there an opportunity for us to try and put a stamp on the game as well? And we're going to go into the game trying to do that. We want to try and pose Man City problems where we can. Now, while they may be limited, while that's going to be very difficult than other games, of course it is, because of the quality they have, there's still that willingness, what we're going to want to try and do that.
One final one from me. There's been so much talk about the partnership between John Stones and Ruben Dias. I'd like to actually look at the partnership between Anderson and Adebayo. What can you say about them? Because they've been so solid for you over the last few weeks.
Yeah, been really solid. I think, like anything, certainly in good teams, great teams, you normally find that the biggest pairing or the pairings of the central defenders are key and pivotal. And I think it's fair to say that Joachim and Tosin have formed a very good partnership, and they've along with the whole defensive unit and as a team, I think that's helped them as well. I think defensively as a team we've defended much better, and I think that has helped. But for sure, the way we've played and how solid we've been has been a large part down to the partnership of both of them.
Thanks for your time, Scott.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. We're going to stay with broadcast. We have two more. First, we're going to go to Ian Abrahams, TalkSport, and then Emma Jones, BBC London. Ian, a question for Scott, please.
Hi, Scott.
Hi, if you're all right, mate.
How are you?
I'm good, pal. Yeah, not too bad.
You never got back to me with the text about your jacket.
What's that, mate? Say that again. You broke up.
You never got back to me about the text I sent you about your jacket.
I didn't get anything.
Oh, right, okay.
Was you giving me grief?
Yeah, I just said it wouldn't fit me.
Someone said it don't fit me.
Who chooses your clothes on a match day? Is it you or is it Mrs. P?
No, it's me. Yeah, it's me.
Do you run it past her at all? I mean, to get her approval?
No, not really. She's got 4 boys to look after, to be fair. So she's got no interest at times regarding that. So yeah,
It's like, listen, it's a great thing to have that kind of USP, isn't it? Because I mean, a lot of managers just go for the tracksuit or a normal suit, but you do look very smart, very different on the touchline. Is that something you purposely have cultivated?
Yeah, I don't know. It's not just something now. It's just something what I've always took pride in how I look, and I love clothes. I love fashion. So yeah, it's probably just another part of me that, also I'm representing the football club. I'm representing the team, and I feel that there's a certain element of that which is very important to me. And while some may not see or understand that, it's just, and maybe see it a little bit strange, it's just the way I feel, and that's just it really. That's the main crux of it.
I should know the answer to this, having known you for so long, but are you superstitious? I mean, do you have to wear that same jacket again against Man City, or you don't really care about that sort of thing?
Yeah, no, I am quite superstitious, yeah. So definitely that jacket will be worn against Man City. So for everyone who wants to tune in, and I just said there, back end, I was gobsmacked after the game in terms of there was couple of the main questions people were asking me. So it was quite surprising, really, considering I thought it'd be more about the great result we got, but such is.
Let's talk football then. I know you're going to tell me you've achieved nothing so far, but I would put to you that you probably achieved quite a bit, because you're now well in the conversation about staying up, and you've actually dragged 3 teams into the battle to stay up with you.
Yeah, you're right in what you're saying in terms of we've done nothing at this present moment in time. We've been very competitive over the course of where we are, dragging other teams in or around us. Very consistent. It's an irrelevance. From the outset, I knew you need to win. We need to win some football matches. First of all, we needed to become more solid. We need to give ourselves a platform, win games, and we did that. And then that element changed from a lot of draws to then quickly recognising, okay, like we need to start winning some games now. And we've managed to do that over the course of the last 7 odd games. And the sole focus has always been us improving, us understanding what we need to do to win games, and we've managed to do that pretty well. And really, the noise from the outside, from the start of the season to maybe now, I'm very conscious of. And like at the beginning of the season, when there was a lot of negativity around the team, I understood that could destabilise us, and I was very rational in my thinking and wanted the players to be that. And like now, that there's probably a few more plaudits for this team, individuals in it, and the way the team's going, I'm very conscious that can also be destabilising, because you take your eye off it, you take whatever that may be, can be an issue. So very level is where we stay, really.
What have you learned about yourself and your managerial tactics or ways from 2 years ago when you took over in a very similar position? Maybe the position was slightly worse, but you know what I mean. You took over Fulham in a relegation battle. What have you learned 2 years down the line? What are you doing differently now than you were 2 years ago?
Well, it's very different, because I took over a team and a squad of players that it was a struggling team. It wasn't winning football matches. I see where the flaws were. I definitely see where the flaw were. What did I have time to change that? The most important part was the psychological side, and I feel that that's probably the big thing what we've come into this year: managing players, managing individuals, managing the team, understanding that that's a key part to any failure in teams, is that psychological side. And of course, tactically, being aware, understanding certain things, that comes with experience. And while we had them as a staff and as a group, over the last thing he did this season, of course, has been better. It highlighted, you see certain issues, you see certain instances. This league's very different to the Championship, and what you need in the Championship to probably get out of that league is probably very different to this league in terms of technical and a tactical side. This league, fundamentally, you need to be solid first and foremost. You need to give yourself a platform in games. And whereas the Championship last year, it was goals, and that's what we probably needed to do. This year, from the outset, I knew that the last time we was in this division, I think we conceded a record-breaking 81 goals, I think it was. So I knew that we're never going to be able to score 3 goals in this division and win a football match. That's just a fact. In 2 years' time, I hope we do. I hope if we stay in the league this year and we can build and we can develop, then that's the place we want to get to. But certainly this year, that was never going to be the case. So you need to win games 1-0, 2-1 by the odd goal, and what you do need is a solid platform to do that from.
And my final question is kind of 2 questions in one, really. One, when you were doing your analysis before the game, will you pick the brains of someone like Kenny Tete, who has beaten Man City regularly before, it seems, when he's played for Lyon? And secondly, just explain before the game, when you go on the pitch with the players. A lot of managers don't. They send the players out to warm up, and they spend that time, that last 45 minutes, on their own with their thoughts. I've noticed the last 2 times I've been at Craven Cottage, you're right out there. You're still with the players. You're still giving them a G up, a bit of confidence. Is that something you consciously wanted to do? And have you taken that from previous managers?
No, not taking it from previous managers, and it's something I've just really done. I didn't do that early on in the season. I've done that over the last few months, just to feel part of it again, feel amongst them, feel amongst the team. Like you said, that place where you're with the team practically every single minute a day in the build up, and then you build up to them last 24 hours, and as a group and as a team we're together, and that moment is probably the most vital bit from there. Just feel like being around a team, and obviously that extra bit of encouragement is anything I want to see or I don't see right, then obviously can address, but that's probably just more there for support, nothing other than that, and feel that we're in this together and this is what we need to do. So regarding the other stuff, yeah, of course, look, there's experience in this team, and one you say in Kenny, who's obviously come up against them. I've come up against them a few times. So yeah, we understand the challenges, and there's going to be many come Saturday night. I think we all understand that, but they're challenges that we want to face up in front, and hopefully we can try and get the better of, or certainly nullify that, and try and put in a good performance.
Cool. I'll see you on Saturday. I can't promise to be as smart looking as you, but I'll see you Saturday.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, Ian. And to complete the broadcast section, Emma Jones, BBC London.
Hello, Scott.
Hi, Emma.
Your players were saying after the Liverpool game that the difference that you make as a manager is you go into games believing you can win them. I'm just wondering, going up against Manchester City, will you just be happy not to lose?
Yeah, look, like any game, every game we go into, that's the base, and that's the remit we always start from. Don't want to lose the game. Do I believe we can win the game? Do I believe we can beat Liverpool away? Yes, I do believe that. I honestly believe that. And that comes from not just my beliefs, and like you say, they're the players were giving over messages that it's from mine, but that comes from what I'm seeing. That comes from, I'd be the first to be very realistic about certain situations. If I didn't see that on the training field, I didn't see a work ethic, I didn't see an endeavour, I didn't see a group of players that showed quality at times, and certainly moments during this season what have been tough, ones what really put their hand up and front up and face up, then I wouldn't have that belief. So as much as obviously the belief comes, I think this is a group thing, and that's what helps. The weekend, the best team for me in Europe, the best team in this division. You can be on the end of one when you play Man City, of course you can, and we see that many a time. But it's certainly a game that we want to try and assert ourselves and try and cause us some problems.
22 games they went without losing. In fact, they won 22 in a row. But I'm wondering if you studied the loss against Manchester United more closely than the games that they've won.
Yeah, I've studied a lot of games. And the result against United again. Man United have got certain elements in their team that can obviously hurt at times at the Man City side. So every game's a little bit different. And look, Man City have vast quality all over the pitch in terms of the way they're set up. Their positional play can vary, can change. There's a lot of elements and a lot of facets that you need to be fully aware of. So I don't think there's any one game you can watch and really take. Of course, you can take some confidence out of, or you can look at certain things and think, okay, that looks like that can work there. But like I said, they're an extremely well-oiled machine that can cause you problems at any given moment, really.
Pep Guardiola has half joked that the reason why Manchester City is so successful is because they can spend an awful lot of money on really good players. There's some truth in that, isn't there?
There's some truth in it, but I think he's been very modest in that. Been very modest. I think arguably he's an incredible coach, and you only have to look at his team and the setup. And while of course they have very, very good football players, and they're in a privileged position that they can buy them. That team, their setup, the way they are, the way they play, the way they move, the ball, just everything about them. You can tell with just watching them for a few minutes that this is a team that are coached very, very well, and doesn't surprise us because we're arguably looking at one of the best, certainly in my lifetime, arguably one of the best coaches that I'll see.
I did see you in conversation with Pep after a game once, and I wondered if you were going to get a few words of wisdom from him then.
Yeah, the last time we played him, good conversations like you do with a lot of managers after the game, and just in terms of just chucking ideas about, or just a general, this is going well, how are you finding that, the problems you're seeing for them, or just that general chit chat really. So Pep's always been very open, always happy to have them chats, always happy to have them talks, and for me, of course, they're gold dust really.
Finally, from me, you're on 26 points now. That was how many points Fulham managed in the whole of their last Premier League season. So that must be quite pleasing, knowing that you're in the position you're in now.
Yeah, very pleasing, but Emma, you know, it's going to be an irrelevance and unless we're successful this year and stay in this division. So while we've picked up some points, at this moment we're sitting in a good place, and I like where we are all round in terms of everything, every dynamics of the season. We understand there's still a long way to go and there's a lot of work to be done, and our focus needs to remain on that, our goal, and what we need to do to reach that goal. And if that is the case, then I have no doubt that we can be successful.